Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am currently in lockdown, so life has been pretty boring. I just made myself a nice cup of hot chai, which has been one of my favorite lockdown beverages, as well as hot chocolate. We've been having one pretty much every single night. I've actually, on my laptop over here, got up the custom mug orders. I'm halfway through glazing them all, but yeah, I have the other half to do. I, on my Instagram, asked you guys to ask some questions or just like anything you wanted to know, pottery related and not pottery related. So I'm going to be answering them as I glaze. It's gonna kind of just be like we're hanging out. If you also do ceramics, now would be a fun time for you to make some as well. But yeah, I just thought it would be a fun excuse to sit down and get creative together. I actually have a variety of my glazes here. I'll be using these colors and showing you guys what I do. I'm gonna start off with painting my summer daydream print. This is for an order. The cup says Monica on the front, which is really cute. This girl actually got a few mugs and she's requested that I do this one with pink flowers instead of blue flowers, which the summer daydream usually comes with. So yeah, I'm just gonna start off by doing the flowers on here. The first question is, was it expensive to start my own business? This is kind of a bit of a complicated answer because when I started my business, I wasn't intending on starting my business. So I was just like purchasing clay and materials and things, thinking I was doing it as a hobby. And then it wasn't until people were like, oh my God, you should sell these, that I decided to sell them, and I just used what I had already bought. So I think initially the materials, I probably spent like $300 or $400. And then I didn't buy any packaging until I had sold the pieces because I honestly just hadn't even thought that far ahead. I also offered local pickup, so a lot of like local girls and guys were just picking them up from my house, which now looking back on it is crazy to think because there's no way I would do that anymore. The boxes and the bubble wrap, and I even bought like tissue paper and things from just the craft store. I probably would say it was around like $350 to $400 probably. But yeah, obviously I made all of that money back when I did the drop, and then I kept all of the profit and just reinvested it back into my business. So yeah, definitely not that expensive. When you think about how much other businesses spend starting up, I didn't take out a loan or anything. So how often does something go wrong when I'm firing? It's so hard to concentrate on painting and talking at the same time. But I would say it's pretty unusual for there to be a firing where nothing cracks, at least. The cracks are usually very minor. I haven't had like any big cracks in a very long time. Usually there's at least one thing that has a tiny crack in a firing. What is the best advice I can give someone starting a small business in lockdown? Also, I had a really big think about this, and I think my number one tip would be just to document the process. Even before you launch your brand, I'd say like start sharing the process on your socials and show people how much work you're putting into it. This is easier if it's like a hands-on thing like ceramics or art. But yeah, even if it's like clothes or anything or jewelry, document the process of you designing it. People are so interested in that stuff, and it's also really relatable. Not only will you get lots of people invested in your brand, but they'll be able to take something away from it as well. My camera battery totally just died. My second tip would be to start building hype early on. So from memory, I'm pretty sure I started my page like 2 to 3 months before I actually did my first drop, just documenting how I was doing my first drop and like all the behind the scenes process, which is all building hype, as well as also posting a lot about it on my personal page. I want to like show how you're using those products yourself for your everyday life or like just often, because at the end of the day, if you're not passionate about those products and you're not yourself going to use them, then they're probably not going to sell very well. I think it's pretty obvious that everything I make, and even like all of my apparel things, the jumpers and the tote bags, I have used the products for months before actually launching them. So yeah, I always make sure I love the product myself before selling it. I wouldn't want you guys to be paying money for something that I wouldn't myself use and love. And I think it's pretty obvious as a consumer when somebody's doing that. I've probably only got like 2 more flowers to do on this little cup. If you've ever glazed yourself, you would know how long this takes. But trust me, the longer you take and the more like precise you are, the better it's gonna look once it's fired. All right, another question. How do my friends and family feel about my business and just overall being self-employed so young? I'm really lucky. For the most part, everybody is super supportive. If it wasn't for my friends and family in the early stages of my business, it probably wouldn't have happened because they were the ones who like bought most of my first drop. All right, I think I'm done with the flowers on the outside. I'm now gonna get started on the cherries. This is actually a little bit of an older one, so I should give it a bit of a shake. Before you fire anything, the glaze colors look so much lighter. Surprisingly, there's actually a lot of questions about my tiled table, which I DIY'd myself a few vlogs back. More specifically, people want to know how much it costed me to make. I mentioned it in that vlog, but it cost me around $190 to $200 with all the tiles and the glue and the wood and everything, which is still like kind of expensive, but people sell them for over $500, so I was saving a lot of money. So for the cherries, I literally just draw 2 little circles, and then I make sure to leave a spot for the green stalk. Super cute. I also make sure to paint them like kind of next to each other and overlapping a little. My favorite loungewear brands, you guys know I'm a sucker for a matching set. The linen matching sets that I typically wear are from a brand called Daisy Studios. They do lots of beautiful linen bedding and just loungewear in general. Also Zulu and Zephyr are another fave of mine. They do really beautiful knitwear in winter. I Love Linen do some nice sets as well. They're the ones I can think of off the top of my head. The Wholesome store also do some really cute knit sets as well. Okay, current obsessions. This is just gonna be a bunch of random things that I'm obsessed with at the moment. First obsession, I would have to say, is chai. I've been making one every single morning, and every single time I go out to a cafe, I get one. I don't particularly like the chai lattes. I like the real chai tea, like brewed over almond milk. This background noise is so annoying, I'm so sorry. But my second obsession is oversized men's blazers. I've currently just got one from the op shop, but as soon as Jeff Avenue get their black one back in stock, Jeff Avenue is Matilda Jeff's brand, if you don't know. I definitely want to invest in one of them, but I've literally just been wearing my op shop one so often. I love how they look over the top of dresses, even with jeans. This one's a little bit of a random obsession. I've been really into my rose quartz like face roller. You guys know I love skincare, so I've like kind of implemented that into my everyday skincare routine. Just feels so good, especially because it's winter. It's like always icy cold from it being cold. Another current obsession of mine would be going to the sauna. I've been going a lot lately. I've been trying to go every fortnight, but holy shit, I just feel so good when I do go. I've been trying to increase my self-care ever since I said like a few months ago I'd been feeling really anxious. But yeah, just like finding time to do things for myself has made me feel really good, and going to the sauna is one of those things. I'm really getting through these cherries. I only probably have like 2 more to go. But my last current obsession would be the Netflix show Selling Sunset. Alex and I have been so obsessed with it. Pretty much just this group of women who sell the craziest houses, but it's super bitchy and so entertaining. It's like definitely trashy reality TV, but we're hooked. Okay, next question. How has my mental health been? I've been pretty open with you guys in past videos talking about how this year I've kind of had spurts of anxiety. That's just been because of things that have been going on in my life. But I found since cutting out coffee, and I know this might sound dramatic, but my anxiety has been so much better. The last few days, funnily enough, I've been feeling a little bit iffy, but I think that's just because we're in lockdown. And my friends and I were actually meant to be going on a boat holiday this week, so we've had to push that back if lockdown hopefully ends. But if it doesn't end, then unfortunately we're gonna miss out on that. So I think I was just feeling a little down because of that. But overall, at the moment, I'm feeling really good and just like really fulfilled in what I'm doing, which is a nice feeling. I often get questions about how long it takes me to actually make a mug. I think you guys would be really surprised, unless you've done ceramics yourself, of course, but ceramics is such a timely process. So to break it down for you guys, I actually have like videos that show the whole process from start to finish. So I hand build everything, which takes a little longer than wheel throwing, I believe. But to make a mug like this, it would probably take me around like 20 minutes or so, maybe even a little longer by the time I let the actual like pinch pot shape dry and then attach the handle, probably looking at like half an hour. And then once I'm happy with the final mug shape, I let the pieces dry for around like 1 to 2 weeks. It honestly depends on the weather. If it's like wet and rainy that week, things will take a little longer to dry. But once the pieces are bone dry, which is what they are now, then glaze them. All of the flower designs take a little longer, just because they're super intricate and I have to do a few coats of the glaze. And then once the pieces have the designs on them, I have to go over them in a clear glaze, gives them their final like glossy coating. And then once that's done, I load up all of the mugs and I drive them out to my kiln. It's definitely a really timely process, but super worth it in my eyes. So obviously that's why handmade ceramics are so expensive. How tall are you? I love dickies, but they're always too long in between my legs. I definitely struggle with this problem as well because I'm only 156 centimeters, but I have it with most brands, so I wouldn't just put it down to dickies. I'm always having to like roll jeans and things. I wear a size 28, the 26s are way too tight for me. And I do have to roll the bottoms. In the boiler suits, like the onesie that I'm wearing now, I wear a size extra small, and I do still have to roll the bottoms. Okay, yay, I've done all of the cherries on this cup now. Here is a little bit of a close-up. She's looking really cute. Now all that I have to add is the green stalk for the cherry. So this is probably the easiest part, honestly. Just realized I got a little bit of red glaze in a spot that I'm not meant to. The good thing about ceramics is if you don't like what you painted or you get a little bit of glaze in a wrong spot, you can literally just take a sponge and some water and gently wipe it off. Lots of you guys want to know if I'm restocking Lolita apparel, and yes, a restock is actually just around the corner. I'll be posting an official date soon, but it should be like end of August, early September. So yeah, very soon, and I have a few new products that will be launching as well. Where do I keep my kiln? So it's pretty obvious that it's not here at my house. I always refer to like going to the kiln. So I actually keep it on a family friend's property because we have a rental. We weren't able to get it installed here. I didn't want to risk spending that money and getting it hardwired here and then having to move next year and then doing it all again. And then we're on to my last cherry. The last question I'm gonna answer is, what kiln model do I have? So I always get this wrong. I wrote it down. I have a Tetlow. I can't remember the exact like model numbers, but I'll put it up on the screen here for you guys to see. I honestly couldn't recommend it more. It is definitely a bit more of a pricier brand, but I got super lucky, and actually my original pottery teacher reached out to me and said that she was selling it. So I kind of just jumped at that opportunity because it can be super hard to find kilns to buy. You usually have to get them shipped over from overseas, like Germany or somewhere. So yeah, I just jumped at that opportunity and it's been so good so far. I almost forgot, I have to do the center of the flowers. So I just take this like peachy color and I just take a tiny bit on my brush and pop it in the center of the flowers. Like that. Yay, and now we are all finished. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this style of video. I know there's always requests for more clay content, and now that I have this new studio set up, don't worry, it's definitely on the way. If you're also in lockdown, I am sending you so much love. That's all from me for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a good week.